Good morning, folkers. Good afternoon. Good evening, wherever you're at in the world. Snapzilla Gorilla. Welcome to the definition of anarchy. Well, some interesting developments going on. Apparently, in Minneapolis, of course, they voted to dismantle the police department, right? But when you look at what they want to do, it's kind of scary, right? So essentially what's going to happen is they want to replace the police officers with the police department with a community-based outreach program, right? Nothing wrong with a community-based outreach program. Nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with taking a large amounts of responsibility off of the police officers in terms of how to deal with the community, because police officers are not equipped to handle every issue, right? They're not equipped to handle every issue. They're not equipped to handle mental health issues. They're not equipped to handle family issues, right? They're not equipped for that. They're not equipped to deal with drug addicts, right? All they know to do with a drug addict is arrest them, right? Put them behind bars. They don't know what to do to help that person get rehabilitated. But this is a major problem. I don't have a problem with doing that. But what about security? Now, y'all know how I feel about the police. They're not your security guards. They're not there to keep you secure, right? They're there to present the image of security, right? It may delay crime if there is police presence. You're going to delay the crime because the person that's going to commit the crime, they don't want to do the crime right in front of the police officer, or if there's police officer in the area. Granted, right? They'll just wait until that police officer is no longer around, then they'll commit the crime. So like I say, the police do not prevent crimes, they delay crimes. Okay? They might stop crimes in progress if they're right there, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about general everyday. I'm talking about the large percent of what the police do is not prevent crime. Anyway, moving on from that. You need security, right? You need security. But believe you me, these politicians that want to dismantle the police, they have security. As a matter of fact, they used in Minneapolis, these council people, these politicians used $63,000 of taxpayer money to hire private security to secure them. You understand? So you see where the disconnect is here is? You see, they're not taking the power from the police and putting it in the hands of the people. They're taking the power from the police and putting it in their own hands so that they can do whatever they want with your money, with the power, with the control. That's the problem. You don't want city council people, you don't want governors and mayors and elected officials to determine how policing gets done. You don't want that. You leave it up to them, then it'll look a whole lot different and it'll be a lot worse than the police rule we have now. The police state we have now will be a lot worse under their rule. You understand? Because what they're going to do is they're going to hire, right? If you leave it up to them to provide the security for the people, then the security is going to answer to them, not to the people. And they're going to do whatever the people that are paying them tell them to do. And essentially we're paying them, right? We're paying the tax dollars. It's coming out of our tax dollars. But the council people, the politicians are handing out the checks. So who do you think who has the power? Who do you think has the power in that instance? What they're doing is they're taking the power away from the police departments and the police unions, right? And the commissioners and the chiefs, and they're concentrating all that power into the city council people. That's not anarchy. That's not freedom. You're just concentrating the power into fewer amount of people. That's not what's supposed to happen. So don't get it twisted when I say I want the police to be abolished. That's not how I want it done. You understand? That's not how it should be done. All right? So, what do you do from here? Well, the people really need to get off their ass and stop trusting these politicians to handle business for them. All right? That's what needs to happen. They're going to spend your tax dollars to hire private security for themselves. And then once the police are done, they're going to ultimately be in charge of the policing. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. We want the power to go back to the people. We want the power to go back to the individual. Really. It's really an individual you want to have power over themselves. You don't want the larger number of people to have power over the smaller number of people. You want the individual to have the freedom and the power to exercise over what they do and influence in their lives. All right? That's really what you want. You want your power back, your individual freedoms, your individual power, your individual autonomy. That's what you want. All right? A perfect example of this is in St. Louis, where that couple who lives in the same private neighborhood as the mayor there, these so-called protesters were trying to storm the mayor's house. They broke in through the gates, and a couple came out with their weapons to fend off the protesters. All right, to keep them at bay. You know what they did? They didn't wait for the police to show up. They didn't say, "Oh, where's the police? Oh, come on, please help me." No, they took it upon themselves to exercise their rights to keep and bear arms. And they did that. And they deterred any further action by these looters and whatever the hell, these stormers, right?
Continue
right?
on
So that's a perfect example. And look, no one was shot. No one was killed, right? No life was threatened to any degree. They just said, look, if you try to come this way, if you go any further through in our private area, in our private neighborhood, then we gonna throw lead down range. That's what they did. And I ain't got no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Now, according to them, some of those protesters and looters and rioters had weapons. I don't know. But that's what we all need to do. If we don't want to get our private property stormed, we have to be ready to defend it by any means necessary. By any means necessary. Like Malcolm X said. You understand? That's what we need to do. So what these politicians have in mind, right, that call for the dismantling of the police, they have a whole different idea in mind. Who knows what they're going to do? Are they going to bring UN troops? Are they going to hire private security that's beholden to them and does their bidding? What are they going to do? And then if you look at that, you got to follow the money. Who's going to benefit from this whole dismantling of the police? Now you're talking about private sector security, but it's not going to be us who's in charge of that private security. It's going to be the politicians. So we really have to look deep into what they're trying to do. I know a lot of people want to dismantle police. A lot of people don't. But at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own safety. You're responsible for your own actions. You're responsible for your own family property. You're responsible. It's up to you to make sure that everything you have is intact and in order. It's not up to me. It's not up to the police. It's not up to the crooked politicians. No, it's not even up to your neighbor. You can collaborate and align with your neighbor. You can coordinate with your neighbor and make sure that you guys make a concerted effort to keep your neighborhood safe. But when push comes to shove, it's ultimately up to you. And that's what I'm trying to get through to people. You know, you have these individuals who's so deep in this left-right paradigm lie that I don't even know if they can think for themselves. Can you think for yourself? Oh, the left is this, the left is that, the right is this, the right is that. Both of them, the left and the right, full of shit. They all want the same thing, to control the people. That's what they want. They want power, they want control, and they want a reduced population so that we're easier to control. Point blank in the period. That's what the Georgia Guidestone essentially says. That's what they want. So instead of calling for this and calling for that, instead of asking the politicians to do this and asking them to do that, start thinking about how you can do shit for yourself.
Is on the right.
How about that? Start thinking about what you can do for yourself in your own family, in your own community, to make your life better and to make your life more secure. Other than that, you know, hey, if you don't want that, you want a ruler, you want people to ruling over you and dictating your life, handle your business. But don't include me in that. That's really what it's about. Many people are going to want rulers and leaders and dictators and bosses to rule over them because they don't know how to think for themselves. But at least allow me to be able to break free of that and live my own life and my own business. It's really what it's about. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Do you think that we can trust these council people and the politicians to have so much concentrated power to dictate how law and order is disseminated within the community? Or should we just take this as a sign that we need to start doing for self, point blank and period? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Like, share, subscribe. Anybody that tells you that we need law and order,
keep left.
They're weak. They're weak, and they need people to wipe their ass after they shit. Point blank and period. If you think that you need law and order to be dished out by other people, by other individuals, and you don't know how to live the life for yourself, and you're sitting up here telling people, oh, we need law and order. We need the police to do this. We need the police to keep order. We need the politicians to tell us how to live. Oh my God. Then they're weak. Those are the type of people you should be really careful of, right? Because if they have no problem with people ruling over them and you, then they'll have no problem ruling over you themselves. So with that, I bid you adieu. Peace.